Hi, I'm #1 New York Times bestselling author Brad Thor here at Peerless Bookstore with Sherry B. from PDB Group Venture. We had a great book signing tonight. George Scott, best bookseller in all the United States. And I got to tell you what, we had a fantastic event, and it was fantastic in a large part because PDB Group Venture did fantastic audiovisual. If you need audiovisual, PDB Group Venture is the company to call.
Yeah, you get a slip of paper and you can write on it.
That'll work.
Can you kind of make sure people can get through here? I'll be right back.
Okay. He's going to give us a piece of paper.
Peerless Bookstore is hosting Brad Thor today, and we're setting up. PDB Group Venture is providing the engineering, sound system, and of course the music. So this is a little behind-the-scenes footage of PDB getting set up. Testing the mics, all of that. Rare footage of behind-the-scenes setup today here at Peerless Bookstore as we wait for Brad Thor. Thank you.
They were customers of mine at another bookstore last year when I was laid off. They did not, well, they wanted to be a part of this type of thing. So thank you for being a part of this. We are Peerless Bookstore. I'm George Scott, for those who may not have known that. And again, most of you probably did. You guys, a lot of new faces. You guys have brought the biggest event, Brad Thor event, to Atlanta as of yet. Okay. I want to thank all of you. Well, you didn't come here to hear me, so hey, Brad, you ready there, buddy? Yeah. Come on out. Wow, look at this crowd. This is fantastic. How much cord do I have here? I got a whole bunch. Okay. Hello, everybody. How are you? This is great. Thank you for coming. This is, wow. George, this is the reason you're my favorite bookseller in the business. You are terrific. All right.
How many people have ever been to a Brad Thor book signing before? There go all my jokes. All right. Well, I think what I will do is tell you a little bit about how I got the idea for my new novel, let you know how it came about, and then I want to turn it over to my favorite part of doing a book signing, which is to take questions from the audience, because I think we have a lot more fun, we learn a lot more when everybody gets to ask their questions. So, Full Black. This is my 10th Scott Harvath thriller. If you have not read any other Scott Harvath books before, this is a great book to start with. I reveal things in this book that nobody's known about him before. The idea came to me, every single book I do, I want to base it as close to reality as possible. And I'm constantly watching the news, I'm collecting newspaper clippings and putting them into a box and drawing from those throughout the years. I try to develop my story ideas. But with Full Black, I went to the friends that I've got in the intelligence community, special operations community, law enforcement, and I said, I know what keeps me up at night, but I really want to know what keeps you up at night. And a couple of them shared something with me that I had not heard of before. In the 1990s, a nation that's hostile to the United States developed a plan for collapsing America from within. They realized that they would never be able to beat our military, greatest military in the history of the world, on the conventional battlefield. So they had to plan another way to take us down. And they put together this very extensive blueprint that called for a lot of interesting things. Remember, this is back in the 1990s. One of the things they said they needed to do was to encourage George Soros to do more of what he's doing. I can't do it as well as Glenn does, but I can't do the Kermit the Frog. Oh, geez, why'd you have to do that? Put the spooky dude in your book. So the Soros thing was one. 1990s, again, another thing they said that would help to bring America to its knees was if they could convince Al-Qaeda to attack the World Trade Center. Very interesting. Another thing they talked about doing was infiltrating our nation's power grids to trigger blackouts. Because if they could cut the electricity off, that would result in very serious economic and actual physical repercussions here in the United States. I was in Manhattan in 2003 when the Northeast blackout happened. And a little while after that, there were elements within the intelligence community that leaked that they believed that the blackout was caused not because of some, good old boy hitting the power pole and that triggering the whole chain reaction stuff, but that they believed that there were hackers inside the power grid systems, mapping the power grid systems so that they could come back and shut all the power in the country off at the same time, but they made a mistake while they were inside, and they actually triggered the Northeast blackout in 2003. So I thought, okay, wow, this is a lot of interesting stuff that could go into a book. So while I was writing Full Black, something else popped up in the news. And Bill Gertz, who is a great national security writer at the Washington Times, did an article based on his sources that he'd spoken to in the Pentagon, who said they believed that the 2008 financial collapse was orchestrated by forces outside the United States as part of this blueprint to collapse the United States from within. So this is while I was writing the book. Now normally I say a thriller writer's job is to beat the headlines. I'm panicking, thinking not only is the country going to be collapsed under this plan, but my book is going to come out too late too. So this stuff has been happening, and that's where the idea for Full Black came from. As I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to use this as the basis for a plot? So I touched on it a little bit in Foreign Influence and then really leapt into it. The idea of co-opting a terrorist organization. Make a foreign nation using Al-Qaeda, and Al-Qaeda thinking they were working for bin Laden the whole time, but it really being another group pulling the strings. That was kind of my idea in Foreign Influence. But Full Black was this idea of how do you completely collapse the United States from within. So a lot of the early reviews, the wonderful people who have been going on to Amazon and reading the book and everything have said, wow, it's so timely. And that's what you strive for as a thriller writer. I really believe that the details are the bedrock of a good thriller.